over 2018, I have chosen 5 guns that really stood out, that really just kind of tripped my trigger. And those guns weren't necessarily introduced in 2018, but I reviewed them in 2018. Now, these are not in any particular order, but the first one I'm going to bring out is the Glock G45. This is an updated version of the G19X, which was Glock's submission to the U.S. military trials. A couple of things that they've done with the G45, of course, they have the black slide, which a lot of people were really wanting, and the black frame. Also, the front slide serrations right here are new, and then also they've removed the little tab that came down, and it was a requirement on the original military submission. And because of that, the G19X could not use the standard Gen 5 magazines. But we can see here the 45 will. And these are excellent with the orange follower. And then also we're going to check to make sure the gun is unloaded. Now, a lot of people complain because the frame was long. It's the 17 size frame with a 19 length slide. And because of that, some people were like, well, this makes it more difficult to conceal carry and a lot of other things. But that is not the purpose of this handgun. This is a great gun, especially for those that are law enforcement, riding around in a car all day. It gives you a little bit of a shorter slide, and yet you have higher round capacity. But I don't really want to get into all the details of why some people have complained. There's a lot of people that love the G45 and the G19X. In fact, I did a whole video on why I like the G19X and shot it compared to the Model 34, the Model 17, and the Model 19. There's something about this longer grip and with the less mass of the slide that makes this a really softer shooting gun. It gives you a whole other feel from the other Glock pistols. And because of that, I really like this handgun. Now, do I like it better as far as the G19 for concealed carry? No, I don't. This is a separate purpose gun. This is more of a home defense, self-defense. Still, you get that extra capability if you want to go with that full grip. And a lot of guys have bigger hands. They can carry the 17. But for me, really, the G17 is a little bit large for me to carry concealed. The G19, I've carried those for years. And so it's one of the things, this is a certain purpose, a certain mission for this gun. I really like what they've done with the G45 and the G19X. Next on the list is Smith & Wesson's Model 19, and this is bringing back a classic Smith & Wesson revolver, and I like the moves that they've made. Now, there are some improvements with the Model 19. A lot of it has to do with the lockup, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that the gun is unloaded. One thing that they've done, instead of having a detent here to hold the crane actually in place and lock up the cylinder, the detent is here. And so it gets it right here into the crane itself, and it gives it a really secure lockup. The sights, of course, are adjustable. They're excellent. Orange tip at the front. It does have a sleeve inside, which actually aids in accuracy and stability of the barrel. And there are some other features with this. Beautiful walnut grips. And the gun is just very reminiscent of the original Model 19 with better features. And then again, you've got 38 Special and 357 Magnum.
Oh yeah, man, I love it, man. Just boom! Feel the power.
Now, revolvers still have a place in self-defense, and especially with 357 Magnum, it's a very powerful round. Definitely limited mag capacity, but you have a really powerful round. Yes, 10mm can duplicate what 357 has done over the years with a higher round capacity. But there's something about these old revolvers. And one of the things about new guns being introduced into the market is it's not necessarily just for self-defense, and a lot of people have a lot of different tastes. And so I was really glad to see the Model 19 in this classic version, and of course they also have the tactical version as well that's pretty cool. But I love the classical lines of this nice revolver. And again, this just shows that we're in the golden age of firearms. Number 3 on the list is the Hudson H9. Now, this one has been out for a little while before I got one, but I did pick one up this year. We took it out. We did a lot of testing with the Hudson H9. A couple of things about it. Of course, first we're going to remove the magazine, check to make sure that the gun is unloaded, and it is. These have a proprietary 15-round magazine. They're very solid. The gun is just really exceptional. And of course, it has this large piece that comes down at the front, very low. But the recoil system in this firearm is very unique, and it rides really low, which makes this a super flat shooting firearm. The quality that's put into this is just really exceptional. The finish is beautiful. Again, it does have a very unique look, which personally I like. Some people don't like it. They don't like the fullness here at the end. But for what it does for this firearm when shooting it, it's definitely worth it if you like it. Now, one of the big things is, of course, it has the front and rear cocking serrations. It does have a very low bore axis. And guys, I'm telling you, when you're shooting this handgun, it just shoots super flat. This was one gun that I have totally enjoyed taking to the range as much as possible. And we've put now about 1,000 rounds through it without any problems. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is that there have been issues, there have been problems. A lot of guys will get them on up to about 1,500 to 2,000 rounds and they start having some issues, but I haven't had anything with this handgun. But one of the big things about the Hudson H9 is that it's just a totally departure from a lot of the firearms that we've seen. And so to me, that really puts it on the list. A couple of things about this though is, from what I'm understanding right now, Hudson has not been doing a lot on social media. There are some rumors that Hudson may or may not continue to be in business. At this time, I don't know. I've tried to look and see what's going on, but I haven't seen anything to say that they're not. But it definitely still makes the list because it's such a unique firearm, and it's one of those guns when you take it out to the range, you just have a wow factor. In fact, the first time I shot it, I was just like, wow, this thing shoots so beautifully.
Wow. First mag, first shots. Man, I'm really hoping this thing's gonna be just a great gun, because it sure feels great.
And it was very reliable. I mean, we had a great time. One time when we did go to the range, we were at about 800 rounds and the gun was getting really dirty and we started having a few hang-ups. Once we cleaned it up, it went right back to functioning just fine. So this is just one of those guns that's just totally different, and it definitely made the list for me just because of how unique and how flat shooting and the recoil system and the design being so different. It's just a really unique firearm. Will the Hudson H9 continue? I don't know, but I think it's kind of made some innovations that we may see more of coming up. Next on the list, the Springfield Armory XDM 10. 10mm is just excellent with this handgun. One of the big reasons is because of the grip. To me, as far as 10mm go, this has one of the best grips out there. And because of that, I think that, you know, it really kind of allows you a lot of confidence while shooting. So I really enjoyed shooting this in 10mm. Now let's go ahead and drop the magazine, make sure the gun's unloaded, and it is. You get really excellent quality magazines. It's 15 rounds. You get front, rear cocking serrations, and then we get fiber optic at the front, and then we have the 2 dots at the back. They do make a target model or competition model that's a little bit longer. I like this profile. And one of the tops on my list, I thought that Springfield really came through with this 10mm. And in fact, I did a review on this on Get Zone with the Christmas gift guide. And it was just a great shooting handgun. It does have the grip safety right here, but it's so easy to disengage just by grabbing hold. So to me, that is not a problem. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the grip safety, but I've been shooting 1911s for a long time and never had a problem with that. Of course, you have your accessory rail here, and to me, 10mm with this kind of setup, with the ergonomics, with the way this gun shoots, I was just totally impressed with the XDM 10. It does have ambidextrous mag releases. The grip, you can see, of course, there are interchangeable back straps, but it has a really aggressive texturing, and yet it's not uncomfortable while firing this pistol. The ease of breakdown, I mean, it's just an XDM, but it's an XDM on steroids. And so that's one of the reasons why that the XDM 10 from Springfield Armory made the list. Last but not certainly least is the SIG P365. This has been a huge game changer in the concealed carry market for micro pistols, mainly because it holds 10 and 1, and the gun is about the size of a Glock 43, which only holds 6 and 1. And so we're going to go ahead and drop the magazine, because that is the secret to this handgun. I'm going to check to make sure the gun is unloaded. The magazine itself is like a 1.5 stack. And so they're able to get 10 rounds in this really short magazine. And it makes a huge difference with this pistol. The size of the pistol, it's a super compact, very small handgun, and yet it holds 10 and 1. But also, they have 12-round extensions, which, again, are very nice for this little package. And so this has been a huge plus for SIG and really for concealed carry holders, because now you have different companies vying for this market. I mean, it's one that's really, this is a pioneer with the 1.5 stack. Now, Glock just introduced their G43X, which is an incredible pistol, but it's bigger and it only holds 10 rounds and extends much farther than the P365. So that's a huge plus again for the SIG. It does have a proprietary rail, but one of the things I like about this is it's not a Picatinny rail with these openings here. So it's very comfortable in your hand. So, you know, it's just a little bit of a bonus. Yes, it is a proprietary piece that you'll have to get from SIG, but then again, you don't have that rail section sticking out. It does have the night sights, which makes it really great for a concealed carry piece in a self-defense pistol. Front and rear cocking serrations. I mean, SIG really thought this one out, I mean, when they designed it. Now, before I get too far into that, though, there have been some issues, and typically around about a 1,500 round range from what I'm hearing. And so there are some problems with strikers breaking and some different things like that. SIG is actively addressing all those issues, and they're trying to figure it out. Now, for me, I've put about 1,000 rounds through the P365, and I have had no malfunctions. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a great pistol. But because of some of the other issues that have been shown and reported, it's kind of stolen a little bit of my confidence. And so for that reason, I don't really carry this one until I can make sure that, you know, all the problems have been worked out by SIG. And so we'll see about that. I know there are some upgrades that you can do, and hopefully, you know, SIG will be able to take care of that. But other than that, the design itself is so solid. And with the 1.5 stack magazines, and then of course you can get the 12 extension, which makes it really about the size of a, you know, shield, which only holds 7 rounds. And then of course they do have the 8-round extension. It's definitely in the top 5 for me for pistols of 2018. Now guys, obviously there were a lot of new guns that were introduced that didn't make this list. And a lot of them are just excellent, good quality guns. Some of them are better than the guns that were on this list. But these are the ones that really stood out. Down in the comments below, if you have a list of 5 or something that you think I missed that was really something that excited you in 2018, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to see what you think. Guys, when we live in the golden age of firearms right now, and there are so many different choices, and to me it's just really cool to have something unique that really stands out, that goes way above just that level of mediocrity. So coming up, we have the top 5 rifles of 2018, and then we have the top 5 gear choices. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. hit me this year is, but they were fairly new, even if, Glock G45. This is not a Gen 45. Groundbreaking, but I think it's made some groundbreaking. Now last but not, except one time when we were out. Hey.